Part 2.
And we're back.
So, where was we?
We were talking about...
Oh, the Ring of Honor and the Core leaving them.
Yeah.
It would have probably continued to happen if it wasn't for the fact that now Tony Khan has it. And the people that are going to be there are going to be under tight contracts. Basically contracts where they can still work for other people, but at the end of the day, they have to... Ring of Honor will have to, or AEW for whatever may be the case, will not be able to miss one of those shows that they are booked for. Their booking for AEW/ROH will be the thing they have to be. They have to walk around that schedule and not the other way around.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The Owen Hart finals. We have winners. I don't know if they're married, but I know they're boyfriend and girlfriend and they live together. Adam Cole and Britt Baker. Your thoughts?
It was nice to actually have a Owen Hart Memorial Cup.
Well, they are giving the cup to the winners. Problem is, it's only one cup that they put the names on. Mm-hmm. So how eventually we're going to have it where it's not in the same household?
Well, in that case, it's predictable. I mean, everyone knows they're...
But eventually we're going to have winners that's not going to be in the same household. So how does that work with the cup? Do they one person keep it for 6 months and the next person? Because the wrestler actually gets to keep the cup till next year.
Make 2 separate cups.
That's probably... Well, eventually they will have to make a new cup when there was no more room for names. But I would have done it that way. I would have made a men's cup. I do like the fact that they got belts, even though the belts are just for the wrestlers. That much was revealed. They are not defending these belts, which I think I do not like.
It's
like the World Greatest Money in the World Greatest Rumble.
That happened.
I don't like that idea. That's the only thing I did not. So let's move on to. We had no new champions besides CM Punk. The tag titles was great. But I do want to touch on a little bit about what Punk said afterwards. When it was only with the live crowd that someone...
You're talking about after everything went off the air.
He said that he knows if they bring the Trios title, he has picked his partners, and out comes FTR, and then not 3 days later, 3 people that has never teamed together, well, 2 of them has, but the other hasn't. We are now having a Trios match with CM Punk and FTR going against the Gun Club and Max Castle, I believe it is. I may be wrong on that third name.
Okay.
So, my question is, I know we got to get through the month of June, but are they about ready to launch that maybe the next month after they get past Forbidden Door? Or does that tournament starts now and Forbidden Door they crown a champion and we have teams from both companies competing?
It would be a rush tournament though.
Not necessarily.
We have 4 weeks.
Yes, but here's the thing. You could put a tournament of 8 teams. Have 2 brackets. 2 brackets of 4. And we could get them in. A couple matches for the tournament each week of Dynamite. It would not be rushed. It'd be the quickest, shortest tournament we've had, but it still wouldn't be rushed. So let's move on to the drama. That is MJF. Folks, you think it's a walk. Explain why you think it's a walk.
Okay. For those of you that don't know what we're talking about...
I think everyone knows. I don't think you need to explain the MJF.
Well, I'm going to anyway. Maxwell Jacob Friedman...
No-showed,
then ended up... Well, this all started because he went to an event that wasn't sanctioned by AEW.
Back in January, and then they've been having heated discussions ever since. And then he did a no-show at a meet and greet for the Double or Nothing.
He's a perfect heel. This is what heels do.
If it was a walk, that'd be great. But
You mentioned that he has an entire locker room and an entire company.
from what I read,
Mad at him.
So, you don't think it's a walk. Or you think it's a walk. I'm not convinced it is.
Why would Tony allow MJF to go out with a live mic and speak his mind?
Maybe this is where they completely light him off. You gotta realize, whoa,
He was stretchered out. That should have been
No.
his calling card.
he's gonna have a live mic. Maybe they completely take him out with a debut.
So you're talking about like what Undertaker did to Jim Cornette way back when Taker tombstoned him to get him off television.
Only this will be a permanent until a solution is reached. Tony Khan did make a point. He goes, look, it's only 2022. His contract's not up till 2024.
Which you keep on saying that's a year.
It's a little over a year.
2 years.
It's a year and a half. From what I understand, his contract is still January of 04. Or
Okay.
24.
Okay. But now we have the situation of MJF still has a job.
At the moment, yes. Now, this all boils down to MJF wants more money, but he doesn't want a renewed contract.
Cody also wanted more money.
Hang on. And Tony didn't pay it. Tony is willing to pay the extra contract money, but he wants to restructure the contract.
He wasn't able to do that with Cody.
He didn't offer that to Cody.
That's why Cody took his ball and left.
Maybe, but at the end of the day, I think Tony Khan is a businessman. I don't blame MJF for being bad here,
I don't.
but I don't blame Tony either. I can see both sides of this.
Restructure his new contract. It's not. It's
He
not
wants
that
to
simple.
it would be. Add a couple years to it. MJF will still be a young man at the end of it.
But the problem is, and I hate to say this, I think MJF is getting a little too big for his britches. He's not a Cena. He's not an Orton. He's good.
But he does have a point. When his shipment is one of the highest rating on the show, he has a point.
He does have a point.
I'm going to say this, and this is where I'm going to leave the MJF saga. I'm very interested to see how this plays out.
I am very interested as well. Now, there is one more thing.
Oh, we ain't done yet. We still got a few more things to talk about.
Well, I don't know if you're leaving AEW or not.
I was, but you got something else AEW related.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say this, and then I am mildly interested in where this Jake Atlas situation is headed.
Okay, let's don't even bring that up just yet.
Well, yeah, I know.
Let's don't talk about that until we know for a fact if he's guilty. And I'll be right back. We're fixing to switch to Hell in a Cell.
Okay. Hell in a Cell. I don't know where he's going to begin. That's the thing. What you got there?
Hang on, I'll tell you. Just some clothes that they can no longer use. Okay, before we go to Hell in a Cell,
Okay.
let's go the Bray Wyatt scenario. Have you heard anything about that?
No.
Apparently, he did this tweet that is hinting a return very soon. And he's talking about fire. So some people thinks he may be returning at Hell in a Cell. Some people thinks he may be the one to take out. And I know we said we were done with MJF, but the Bray Wyatt has both a point. Some people thinks he may also be the one to take out MJF tonight. I don't know if it means either. It could be just Bray playing with people again. What do you think?
I think if anything, he would look at getting revenge on Orton since Orton technically lit him on fire.
Orton is legitimately injured right now. How is that gonna work?
Hey,
I'm back.
if Kevin Owens can take an entire feud with Stone Cold Steve Austin while Stone Cold Steve Austin wasn't there.
But would you bring him back as a heel just to start out with, though? The fans have been wanting him back since he got released. Was it last year or the year before?
I think it was last year.
I don't know. I'm just saying that I can see him showing up on Needle Place, and I can see him showing up for Needle.
Who knows? This could all just be publicity at the end of the day.
It very well could be. So let's move on.
Okay.
Cody, Seth, Hell in a Cell is the only cell match of the night. This will probably be the write-off, if I had to guess. Where does Cody go after he beats Seth?
So Cody is 2-0.
2-0. He's going to beat Seth for the third in the cell. There's no way they're going to have Cody lose in the cell after being strong this entire feud. That would be pointless. So where does Cody go after this? Does he win Money in the Bank the following pay-per-view?
That would kick off one heck of a strong... Well, he's already being pushed strong.
He's being pushed to the moon. And it's said that Vince is very high on him.
But we know how Vince is. He can be very high on one person one day and then very sour on that same
I think his
person.
contract has a safety net in it. I don't think Cody is stupid.
You know, I found out something about Cody. His contract had no guarantees. The only thing that he asked Vince McMahon is not to bring up Stardust.
And he's been doing it.
Yeah.
So how does that make sense?
It doesn't.
No, I think there was a certain amount of guarantee on where he's at on the card.
You know,
And how he's being pushed. I don't think he would have signed a open contract without having something as a safety net for himself.
you know, I had my doubts with Vince McMahon and Cody
I did too.
because of the way they
That's
left.
why I don't think that Cody just signed a contract and said, "Okay, I'm back." He got something in that contract that states if he's not happy, probably like a Rey Mysterio. Well, if you're not happy with your
You can opt out.
You can opt out after a certain amount of time.
I'll say this.
Rey Mysterio had a 12-month opt-out, and WWE had an 18-month opt-in, where they could add another 6 months after the 18 months if they wanted, which WWE did, and Rey was okay with.
That's legal.
If it's
That's legally.
if it's
that's
in
legal?
the contract, yes, at the time, and since then Rey has signed a brand new contract. So we're done with that. I don't talk WWE that much
Okay.
anymore.
Well.
I do want to jump on
Okay.
Impact. Something else we don't talk about much.
Well, you're gonna have to enlighten me because I
just-
don't watch it.
I don't watch it on a weekly basis. I'm just talking about what I know about ready to happen. There is 2 specialty matches going to be on one night. Is that overkill? First, an Ultimate X for the X Division title. Ace Austin will defend against 4 or 5 people. I know one of them is Trey Miguel.
Miguel?
Yeah. And Matt Bailey the smiley character now, that when he does this and he smiles and it looks like he got whitening to the T on his teeth that will blind you in live person, because I was there when he debuted, and the lights reflect his teeth to the blinding to the point. He's in this match. That's one of the specialties. The next one I'm actually looking forward to is the Queen of the Mountain. And for those of you going, wait a minute, I thought it was called King of the Mountain. It is! When there's a guy in the match.
And your brother has a problem with
My
it.
brother has a problem that they are doing the Queen of the Mountain, just because they changed the name. And I've been trying to tell him, I go, well, how are they going to promote a King of the Mountain match with women?
Well,
You
they
can't
did-
call it a King of the Mountain match with women.
Well, that's... I mean, WWE just did their Queen of the Ring
Pretty
tournament.
much. And it's Owen Hart, by the way, since she just brought up the King of the Ring stuff,
Uh-huh.
the Owen Hart is going to be their version of King of the Ring. And
Oh.
if they book it as strong as they did this one, we got a lot to look forward to each year. So back on track. That's the two specialties. Is that overkill? If it was the same match like WWE has a habit of doing, like one year we had 3 Hell in a Cells on the same show, 2 Chambers in the same show, I would say yeah. But being that it's different specialties, I don't have a problem with it.
I don't have a problem with it. Now if it's like back to back, that's when I would have a problem.
I think one will open the show and one will probably end the show. If I'm guessing, Ultimate X will open it like they did for the Dallas show in January,
Uh-huh.
and then Queen of the Mountain will end it. If I really hope, and they still got, I think, 2 episodes they have to tape, which means they will be taping in a week or so. I hope they book at least a lockdown match. They got the storyline for it. They got some TNA originals been feuding with Honor No More. They got some Honor No More and Bullet Club have been feuding.
Now Honor No More, none of those are under Impact contracts, are they?
One, PCO. So, and then we know for a fact that we got Briscoes versus Good Brothers for the tag titles.
I would really like to see the Briscoes take it.
The Briscoes has them.
Oh. Well, I don't watch Impact.
They won them at Underseas just in May. So they ain't dropping them belts.
Now, I do think it's going to be a good match. But
So I do want to talk a little bit about Matt Cardona. He legitimately injured it, and he's going to require surgery.
do we know how bad his injury
The injury is something to do with the shoulder, and from what I read, that the recovery time can take anywhere from 6 weeks to 9 months. And they really won't know until they get in. So Impact had him drop the Digital Media Championship, but had him steal the belt afterwards. Rick Swann is our current champion. Matt Cardona has possession of the belt. I think it's a way to protect the belt, but also let him still have it in his possession.
So,
I'm not done.
Okay.
Hang on. So you just think about that. But he's also the current NWA World Champion. He's supposed to go against.
Ow.
He's supposed to go against Nick Aldis the week before Slammiversary at the NWA's Always Ready pay-per-view.
Okay, when did he get injured?
Just this weekend. So
So
he won't
probably-
have enough time to recover. But he will probably have his surgery before then, which would give us an idea.
That hurts because he's the NWA champion.
Under the NWA original rules, they basically are the same as Japan. If you cannot show up, or if you cannot defend your title, they yank it.
That seems a little unfair.
No, it does not. If they are going by the original rules, it's like WWE. If you have 30 days.
So Nick Aldis wins it by forfeit.
Oh, he won't win it by forfeit. They will add someone in it. They could do a full-fledged tournament at Always Ready. Can you imagine a pay-per-view named after you, Always hoodie is basically full coat on it, and you can't even compete at it.
Oh, I imagine.
So, if he competes, he drops the title. If he can't compete, he's no longer a champion.
So he's screwed either way.
That's what I think. But he's also has a couple other titles for a couple of different promotions as the world champion. He's going to have to drop 4, maybe 5 belts.
Which is going to lead to a lot of, I hate to say this, it's going to lead to a lot of drop off in pay.
Oh, he ain't going to get paid. Only maybe for his Impact and NWA work.
So, he's already dropped the social media champion.
Digital media title, yes.
Yeah. So, I'm going to guess that Swan rolled him up, got the 3 count.
I have no clue. All I know is he dropped the belt.
And then Cardona just yanks the belt.
He got injured at the GCW event.
Oh, Garbage Championship Wrestling. That explains.
Hey, that is not Garbage Championship. It's not all hardcore. Just so you know.
Hey!
As long as you ain't watching the Bloodsport version of the company, you be fine.
Hey, if Jerry Lawler can call ECW from Extreme Championship Wrestling to Extreme Crappy Wrestling.
Extremely crappy wrestling. It wasn't just called extreme, it was called extremely.
Okay.
It's not for everybody, I will agree. I don't watch the hardcore portions. Well, I won't watch any match that I see a like to brought out.
Or a loaded weed whacker.
Which this company doesn't do that. That's Combat Championship.
And from what you've told me, that makes ECW look tame.
It makes ECW looks like a traditional wrestling. Okay. So, we're done with that. Anything else you want to touch on real quick? We've got about 10 minutes.
Okay. I want your opinion on something. And this was...
Oh boy, I'm in trouble.
You're not in trouble.
Okay.
And this is just something that I heard from an interview. Dutch Mantel was interviewed and was asked about Sonny. And
oh boy, I know what
he
this
said,
is.
And the interviewer asked him, what do you think about Sonny's predicament? He just goes, Sonny is screwed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that?
I know she went in front of the judge. It was either today or yesterday because it was posted today. And she pleaded not guilty. I don't know how that would stand.
She was hammered out of her mind.
That's why I say I don't see how that could stand. Now, if she was just driving and something happened and she was not wasted, she might have a legitimate chance. I don't see how she has a chance. Unless they can prove, without a shadow of doubt, that she was not wasted.
She was 3.5 times over the legal limit.
That's what I'm saying. She cannot prove that. So I don't think she has a shot.
And you and I both know that there was a breathalyzer in her car.
That she didn't use.
That she didn't use.
Like I said, I don't think she has a shot. But I'm not the judge. I'm not the jury.
Now, Dutch also said this.
And I agree. She should be taken out of the Hall of Fame.
He said this. She has no one to blame but herself.
I agree with that.
And that when people tell you who they really are, believe them. Tammy has told us who she really is. She is a person that can't handle alcohol. She is a person that has...
When she's in prison, because that's where she's going, they need to force her, as part of her sentence, to take a rehabilitation class.
Well, the entire issue that I have is she had 7 priors before this.
And they kept allowing her to go longer. So honestly, it's not all her fault.
It's the
It's the state that she's been tried and not convicted of. They need to take a blame in this as well. Not just whoever the judges was or whoever the prosecution teams was. If it was the same county, same state, then they need to take responsibility for their own actions as well. But we know that's not going to happen. Anything else?
Let's see.
Oh, I got one.
Okay.
MLW and whatever the owner's name.
Court Power?
That's it. Commenting on saying, not only do we have the featherweight division, he also wants every weight division like the men have for the women titles. Do you think that overkill at this point?
I'm sorry, repeat that?
Well, we have the featherweight for the women, which I guess that's going to be considered the world title.
Uh-huh.
But he also wants to have every weight class, like the guys have on MLW, for the women. So that's going to be a tag division.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't he only have like an hour and a half of airtime?
I'm not done. He wants to own separate show for the women.
So like Glow or WoW or...
Only, I guess it's still going to be called Major League Wrestling, but maybe it's going to be called Major League Wrestling W?
Okay.
Major League Wrestling Women? I don't know.
Okay. I don't want to sound sexist here. And I hope everybody in internet land can understand where I'm coming from. I've watched Japan. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I watched WWE. I liked it, then I hated it. Watched Impact. Liked it. I watched WoW for the very first time. When I was watching everything underneath the sun, and I couldn't get into it.
I actually like WoW, but this is what I would do if it was me. I would have the featherweight division, I would have a mid-card division, and I would have no tag division. There was no sense of having 5 or